100 subsidence. That's why we conducted that study to provide those with very, very high opportunity. And that's why this is what this slide is talking about. Next slide. I don't have many slides. Next slide. Thank you very much. This is our criteria, ladies and gentlemen, for selecting any sector. First, the sector must have impact. You must be able to generate local employment and use local resources. Number two, there has to be opportunity, because you're not going to come to us to just create jobs for us and give us revenue without you making money. So we are also identifying sectors that will make investors to recoup their investment and make some really impressive return. The next one is capability. Does the state have the capacity to promote these investments? We also assess that. The next one is readiness. Are we ready? If you come, do we have the land? Do we have the infrastructure? Do we have the human capital? Do we have the administrative framework to support that? That's what we do. So anyone that does not satisfy this criteria, we are not going to promote that to you today. Next slide. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to go into details. Already the Honorable Commissioner of Commerce this morning has highlighted these are some of the sectors that are of priority to Bauchi State. Anyone here, there's likelihood of making money. It may not be huge, but there's likelihood. And they cut across agriculture, processing, solid minerals, trade. And next slide. Next slide. You have to work with me. Next slide. So this is the continuation. So you can see the agricultural potentials we have, the shopping lists, and you can see the potentials we have in terms of processing, solid minerals, and what have you. These ones are not all, they are the ones among those 100 plus that we consider as high priority. So these are the ones we subjected to intense scrutiny, and we come up with this. Next slide. Thank you very much. So based on this rigorous criteria, based on the assumptions and the what we use in assessing this is actually the one that has been adopted by FCDO, especially when they were into DFID, when they are assessing sector opportunities in Africa. That's what we used. So I'm not going to bother you with this, but I'm going to give you a summary of it. Next slide. These are the rankings and the scatter plot of the sectors. I'm still going to give you the summary. So the sector has to be feasible and the sector has to be attractive. What is feasibility? Is doable. If you come to Bauchi State and you go to His Excellency with your letter of intent, he's going to tell you, we are ready. Commissioner, come, this, we already have the zone, we already have the space, we already have the infrastructure. And it's attractive. If you come, you're going to make money. We have already assessed that. Next slide. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the 20 top priority sectors. Before, we limited it to only 10. But when we looked at the interest of investors, we had to now extend it to 20. In each of these 20, they have satisfied this criteria because each one of them has 3 and above. Any sector that does not score 3 below is not really the one that we're going to promote. And I'm happy that the president, former president of Azama has already mentioned one, which is rice. And he has already given marching order to His Excellency the Governor, don't play with rice. And Your Excellency, rice is the top of your list as far as the work we have conducted. The second one is cement. And today we have seen the check that we receive. And a number of investors that are interested in developing infrastructure, and this cement is very critical for Bauchi State. So, but cement has also satisfied that. Solid minerals, many of them. When we finish this before you go home, please visit the next room by the left. You are going to see at least 20 samples of raw materials, including those prepared for use producing bulletproof. We have that. We have gold. We have what it takes. All you need to do is to go to Dangote and bring your urea, and go to start producing NPK without any problem. Next is, no, go back. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so we have hospitality. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody asked, what is the essence of building this conference center? This conference center is an investment, public investment in hospitality. For you to bring people to Bauchi State, I have been going to Bauchi State, I've been staying in hotels. Many times when the chief of staff, I will have to call chief of staff, I can't find a single hotel. Please can you give me one of your channels? Because all the hotels have been taken over by international organizations and many guests. So also we don't have enough hotels to accommodate even our existing visitors. Talk less of when you start coming and making these investments. Having a place to put you is going to be a challenge. And when you come here, you want to do progress. This is the space. So it's a value chain of activities. Rice processing, we already have somebody there. If you want to know the qualification of this subsector, all you need to do is talk to TNA. You can talk more authoritatively than me. Ecotourism, President Obasanjo has already said that, and I'm not going to repeat it. This is one of our major comparative advantages. Right now, if you go to Yankari, Game Reserve, and those areas, we have 3 international organizations conducting major projects to make sure that that place is standardized. So Bauchi State in the next couple of years is going to be the tourist hub for this country by the grace of God. If you put your money there, you're good all the way to the bank. The next one is CESA. Your Excellency, I don't want to say this, but when I was coming on Monday, I had to stop for 2.5 hours in a market that is leading in CESA. We couldn't pass. So that market, we need to do something about it because the volume of CESA that is coming to Bauchi is beyond imagination. Unfortunately, we are not taking the juice out of it. So when you invest in aggregation, when you invest in production, processing, and especially trying to produce oil and other byproduct of CESA in Bauchi State, you're good all the way from Morocco to Lebanon to Italy. That one is no stairs. FinTech, we have young men, you see them all over the place. You go into the city, you're going to see Gen Zs doing all these IT activities. I was shocked when I realized that Kano and Bauchi are leading in terms of high tech. The only thing Lagos is prominent for is Lagos has the young people and they have investments. While in Bauchi and Kano, we have the young people, but they have investments. So ladies and gentlemen, these young people are waiting for you to come and invest. And we'll start competing, not with Lagos, but with other Silicon Valleys. Oil and gas, I don't want to say this, but money is there. And we are looking for all the value chain of activities, we're in for it. I'm not going to go into details on that. Wholesale and retail, that one is clear. Next slide. I have only 2 more slides. Next slide. Next slide. Education. If you look at Bauchi, we're surrounded by higher institutions, many of which are public. We need private universities, private polytechnic, private vocational institutions in Bauchi. Already, there are some in the pipeline, but we need more. Why is this sector very important? It's because if you go to southern part of Nigeria, I have some friends, Your Excellency, they are from Nigeria, they're already here. A number of them, they want to send their kids to the north. Sometimes they will just tell you, I want to take my kids to the north. Why? Because the north, they don't have this issue of campus cultism and stuff like that. And Bauchi is safe. And that's what the parents want. They want a safe place for their kids. So Bauchi is a place for higher institutions in Nigeria. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, is healthcare. I'm not going to say much about that. Solar power, you can see the land we have. Thousands of hectares of land ready for you to come and invest. Sorghum is there, maize is there, ground. All these are common products we already know. Microfinance. These small and medium enterprises, they are hungry for finance. They are really hungry. We don't have a lot of financial intermediation. You invest in this sector, we're good. Cattle, Bauchi, I think, SSD, correct me if I'm wrong, we have about 14 gazetted grazing reserves in Bauchi State. And this grazing reserve, many I have been to one, at least I have seen the investment made by state there. But unfortunately, the cows are not there because there's so many that we need to put. And what are we supposed to do there is investments. So anybody who's interested in animal husbandry, in fattening, in what you call it, dairy, all the value chain around cattle, we are ready. Bauchi State is the most ready place. I thought before it was going to be until when I went to Wawas and again, then I noticed that because in Wawa they have problem of water. I'm not demarcating Gombe, but I'm just stating the facts. The next one is paint because of the meters we have. This is ready for investment. Next slide. We are waiting for you to come and invest in this great state. Ladies and gentlemen, I have fantastic individuals. Okay, I've just been trained on how to do this. Thank you very much. So I'm going to give opportunity to the moderators to introduce themselves, and then later I'll be able to give them space of how many minutes? Okay, so for 3 minutes you're going to, because these are individuals with diverse interests and backgrounds. We have already shared this report to them, so they have already assimilated it, and based on their experience, there's so much that I haven't said that they're going to chip. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself first, then everybody has 3 minutes to make his contribution. So introduction first.
Your Excellency, former President Goodluck Jonathan, Your Excellency, the Governor of Bauchi, Deputy Governor, invited guests. My name is Dr. Abbas Waziri. I'm the Group Chairman of President's Mint.
My name is Mama. I'm Azama Tv, the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment, Bauchi State.
Excellency, Mr. President, Excellency, my name is Dr. Aga Okemu. I am Managing Partner, Biosources and Technologies Limited. It's a PPP, FEC approved to the federal government to develop the back end and the front end to both cassava bioethanol and most importantly, the livestock sector of Nigeria. It's a privilege to speak to you. Thank you.
Your Excellency, sir, my name is Professor Adil Ahmed and from Abubakar Tafawa University, Bauchi.
Your Excellency, sir, my name is Professor Rahman Mata. I'm a mine engineering expert, a triple helix model, been in academics, an industry player, and an appointee of federal government. Thank you.
Your Excellency, sir, my name is Amir Ahmed, the MD CEO of Jambia Rice and Farm.
Thank you very much. I think, keep the microphone there. We're going to start with you. You have had President Olusegun Obasanjo today talking about Bauchi should not joke with rice. We should actually be the powerhouse of rice production and processing in Nigeria. How do you see this potential being turned into results? Thank you.
Your Excellency, sirs, I think from what I said earlier, we cultivated almost 8,700 hectares in Gamawa or the whole area. And the beauty of it, when we started in 2021, 2022, we cleared about 2,000 hectares. And we employed some expertise from Bangladesh, which we started with the locals there. The first cycle we did was 550 hectares. And interestingly, what we got at our first harvest was 4.5 tons per hectare averagely. And when we moved to the dry season in 2023, we cultivated 3,800 hectares and we got 6 tons per hectare average. So compared to mostly Jigawa, Gombe, and Adamawa, most of the farmers there got per hectare about 3 to 2.8 per tons. So the land in Bauchi is so different that whatever you invest, you have the return almost immediately. Now, 2025, this rainy season, we cultivated about 8,600, as I said, and we are hoping to get averagely 7 tons per hectare. Now, rice, there are so much in rice. We have a mill here in Bauchi State, which is 600 metric tons per day, and as I said earlier, is the biggest single factory in the north. I think the second is in Lagos in water, which we have the same capacity of 600 metric tons per day. So in terms of rice, I think Kebbi State is still way behind. Bauchi State government is not saying much of what we are getting the land actually in Bauchi. So I will advise the local investors, we need to press up, understand that we can't just hold our arms waiting for government to do everything. When you start something, gradually, you will definitely be there.
Thank you very much. I think one thing you have confirmed is that the soil productivity, the fertility of Bauchi is almost twice relative to other states, if not thrice. Wow. So what are we looking for? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to my next because he has to, his plane is going to leave any time from now. And he's one of the people we're very proud of who is already in Bauchi, and his interest is around cement. But I want you to tell your fellow investors, one, what attracted you to come to Bauchi? And what endowment do you think can support cement production in Bauchi State on a sustainable basis? And three, how can you qualify the political will of the government of Bauchi State to support transformative investments? I know the question is loaded. I'm giving you this because I know you're going. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. Last year, on the 3rd of June, we visited Bauchi with an intention to come and actually check the limestone deposit because as at the time we came, there was no real data of limestone in Bauchi. It was just one publication that we found. And based on that, we met with the traditional rulers of the community. We met with the Emir of Bauchi, and we left. The next day, His Excellency invited us to come back. We came, and he gave us the best reception we can think of. And thereafter, we signed an MOU. Unfortunately, there was no data, investable data at that time. So we had to bring in the team of our geologists. So we started the investigation, the mapping, the drilling. So far, we have been drilling for the last 1 year. The only reason why we stopped right now is that there's too much rain in that area and limestone is found under the sea usually, so it's slippery, we can't walk. But so far, we can guarantee that we have not less than 500 million ton proven reserve in Bauchi. And we still have a lot of deposits that we haven't even touched. So our next line of action now, probably the next 1 month, we will continue drilling. The reason why we came to answer you is first, policy of the government, security, and comfort. And the way His Excellency welcomed us, he gave us everything that we asked for. We have the best security system. As probably the largest land occupier in the state that is private, we are sitting on 1,555 hectares of land which is about 15 square kilometers. We have secured funding. We have secured so far $1 billion. We also are building a 10 million ton per annum, but we are starting with the first 2 lines of the MDs here. Secondly, we came with the company that is giving us power. We plan to do 100 megawatt of power. The MD is also here. And we came with also our chief geologists and other members of our company. And the reason why Bauchi is good for such investment is His Excellency has provided security for us. He's provided comfort. And I used to talk to him 2 a.m., 3 a.m. because he wants to know what is the next line of action and what we are doing next. So we've gotten every support you can think of from the governor, from the members of his team, and also the community themselves. We are going to be the second largest employer of labor in the state. We're bringing in 4,500 trucks, and we plan to assemble them in Bauchi. The direct employment is going to be about 13,000 drivers, and mostly we want to employ the people of Bauchi based on owner-occupier policy. Secondly, we've looked at the IGR of Bauchi and see how we can be able to partner with Bauchi to increase the revenue of Bauchi State. So, in the understanding that we have, Bauchi is going to sit on 20%. They are on board with us. We've created revenue generating streams for them. They will control all local revenues. So they will control the trailer parks. They will be a dealer also. So in a nutshell, there's no way that Bauchi cannot make 5 billion on a monthly basis when we start production. Thank you.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. And thank you very much. You have given us comfort. And I like that because we confirmed a number of the things we put in our report. Because I'm really afraid that probably somebody can challenge our figures and conclusions. I'm now going to the governor's side. Honorable Commissioner of Commerce, a young person, very vibrant. Investors usually don't have time when they come. And investors want things to be done very, very fast. And investors want a situation where the governance framework is efficient and is credible. I know that the government of Bauchi State is contemplating reviving its investment promotion agency to be the home of investors and to provide more comfort to investors like this. What do you think the government of Bauchi State has in stock? One, to make investments very, very efficient and to have a home where investors can get virtually all the things they need without going from one area and another. And lastly, how are you going to assure the investors here that the government is ready to receive investments in Bauchi State? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. You make a very deep question, more like a convergent question, kind of. But let me just take you a step backward, because earlier 2019, when His Excellency got into office, he has to take some diagnostic stage on the state, business environment as a whole. And the approach His Excellency made was a strategic perspective thing, kind of. And that was why the first policy development plan that we have, we said it's called My Bauchi Project. And why it's called a project is because project is said to be a temporary endeavor for us to be able to achieve unique results and services reference to a given timeline. So in that, we look at, His Excellency look at the entire thing from strategic perspective. And a good strategy has 3 basic elements. Number 1 is diagnostic stage. We need to understand the status quo of the environment, because for you to be able to know what is really the right course of action or the course of issue, you need to know the root cause of situation. So His Excellency took some baseline studies and understand the challenges that is surrounding the business environment. And then the first line of action is to, okay, how are we going to cut the bureaucratic bottlenecks? Because most of the hindrances that we have as business people, when maybe business people visit subnationals, is to have challenges of bureaucratic bottlenecks, long-term approvals, tax waiver inadequacies, and lots more of the thing. So then we come up with a guiding policy after going through that diagnostic stage. That's give birth to my Bauchi project 1.0 in the first place, and fast forwarding to this moment after his second tenure in office, we have my Bauchi project second edition. In essence, the idea for doing that is simple, is to identify what are the real issues that are serving as bureaucratic bottlenecks in the line of business environment. Then, of course, from the federal perspective, we have state action for business enabling reform. So marrying the two things in one place is for us to have one unilateral course of action that makes things easier for private sector to really thrive in the economy. And then we have tax waivers in because of my last presentation. We have tax holidays. We have tax relief for people that wants to come in with machineries in terms of agriculture, in terms of mining machineries. Then we have all those sort of a thing. But one thing is very key is the strong political will. We've heard from the Residence Limited, which are they set to now start production of about 10 million metric tons annually. One thing is very key, the political will. So His Excellency, you heard from him that you can call him 2 a.m., 1 a.m., and then he responded. So behind all these incentives, all the enabling reforms, all the business atmosphere, one thing is very key, which is political will. And political will, we have it in Bauchi State, which is courtesy of His Excellency's ideologies in terms of the business environment. So these are some of the terrain that we march through in time and to this particular moment. And talking about the resources that we have beyond mineral resources, beyond agriculture, beyond culture and tourism, we need to understand the statistics. For us in Bauchi State, we equally in our diagnostic set need to look at things. How do we make these projects bankable? For it to be bankable, then it has to go in 3 lines. It has to be credible, it has to be certain, and it has to have what we call this SID. The SID, the S is for strategy, the I, we have to be intentional. And intentionality for any project, it has to come with strong backing from the political, office holders. And in Bauchi, we have synergy of action. You found that we have the Speaker House of Assembly, we have the 3 arms of government working in harmony with one another for us to have sound policies. It's only through those sound policies we are going to have sustainability. And in alignment with that, so that I won't be talking too much, we have a 10-year perspective plan. Beyond the power of now you coming into our state as an investor, we have that as a course of action for us really, champion what we need to do as government.
Good, Honorable Commissioner. Dr. Emeka Ikengo, a personal friend of mine, and somebody I know, he has strong passion in livestock. And this person, his wife, even though he's from Enugu, she's from the north. And I think she's from Bauchi State. Thank you very much. So I might go to their house because Tuwo is over there. So thank you, Mr. Emeka. And I know you have great passion for livestock. And I know you have not been very happy on the kind of potential we have, and you believe we could do more. What can you tell the government of Bauchi State and the investors who are interested in livestock, what we are missing from the livestock sector? Thank you. The mic is.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much, sir. Also, the African Ambassador for Technology and Agriculture, former President Jonathan. I'm going to be statistical and mathematical. Bauchi State, by its 2020-25 vaccination statistics, says that Bauchi has 1.5 million livestock. Your Excellency, you will be requiring 27 million metric tons of forage to be able to feed those animals annually. you'll be requiring 11,000 tons of forage to be able to feed them on a daily basis. And this is where it gets a little bit more frustrating. You'll be requiring 9 million acres of land to be able to produce 27 million tons of forage. So, if you do 9 million acres and you decide you want to give every Bauchi person 1 acre of land to manage, you would have created out of that acre on an annual basis. Please, somebody help me do this math. A ton of forage now averagely goes for about $33, which translates about 54,000. And if you're doing 3 tons in an acre, you can actually do 6 or 7 harvests in a 1-year period. So that 1 acre of land can pay every Bauchi person who's on it close to 400,000 naira or more every year. Now, this is at the level of the back end. Today, you did a presentation, Your Excellency, of a bull. Now, that bull you presented to the former president probably has only 35%, 45% live weight, which is not where the profit is. I also want, as I'm talking, somebody should please check what they call cellular lightweight concrete. So, cellular lightweight concrete is made out of cow horns. It is stronger or as strong as steel. Now, if you have a cellular lightweight concrete product, you can actually build 4 floors without adding 1 inch of iron rods. So imagine where you are able to have Bauchi being able to translate is 1.5 million livestock, 14 livestock centers that are empty. And when the moderator was talking about when he visited them, he mentioned 2 things. 1, water, and secondly, feed. So, sir, the interest of livestock is not even in the front end. Now, blood meal, sir, for anybody who's a scientist here, we tell you that blood meal is the most expensive additive that you can put into any, feed program. We'll talk about leather. We'll talk about the bones. Bone meal, if you're doing any feed, is also something that is very, very critical. Now, what can you do, sir? We're just talking about only forage. Now, imagine what this means, Your Excellency, is that any investor who comes in here into your livestock sector is guaranteed a yearly cycle, if you do this math, Your Excellency, of 2.4 trillion as lower limit output of investments. Thank you very much.
I know when we did this, I think idea, he loves that forex thing, and I know we have a tremendous opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to interrupt this session because one of our investors needs to catch his flight, and there's something we are supposed to do tomorrow, which is signing of MOUs. But because he had to go, we begged the indulgence of His Excellency, so we are going to interrupt just for about 2 minutes to witness the signing of a major groundbreaking contract. This is real, which is going to be witnessed by His Excellency the Governor of Bauchi State and his SSG with President Smith Group and Ecotech. It's going to happen now. I'm not going to say much about it. Your Excellency, the Governor of Bauchi State, with your kind permission to witness this, and with your permission, SSG will join you.
Boss.
Thank you very much. The Deputy Governor, sir. Deputy Governor, sir.
Your Excellencies, Mr. John here is the MD of Ecotech. Ecotech is a subsidiary of CCECC. Currently, CCECC is building a bridge for us at the site, thanks to His Excellency our road to have access to our site. The check presented today, as those that were coming from front to back, would have signed the MOU first and presented the check. Because of issue of time, we are now signing the MOU between Residence Bounty and Ecote to build a life camp, an airstrip, and admin block. And that's the contract we are signing today. And by December, when they will have finished their engineering design, we will formally go and flag on the project. His Excellency will invite everyone for us to continue. And like I promised him last year, we have not left the site. We have been working against all odds. We have proven that Bauchi is investable, and we are here to invest our $1.5 billion. Thank you. It's $1.5 billion. So far, we have secured $1 billion right now.